3 years ago, basically this week, you filed the paperwork in Delaware for Figure, and you wanted to work on humanoid robotics. And you moved super fast. And I would go as far as to say you, personally, have made some of the boldest claims in what's achievable in the field of robotics, humanoid robotics in the near term. I'm talking about your targets for the next few years. But as a place to start, where do we stand, not just with Figure, but with the field of humanoid robotics in the real world being deployed for actual tangible commercial use?
Well, thanks for having me on, Ed. Yeah, my belief is that the humanoid robotics will not only build the biggest business we've ever seen by many, many multiples, but it's going to be also the biggest product launch we've ever had. You're basically building like synthetic humans that are going out and just doing human-like work.
Why did you want to do that?
It's just like the ultimate meta problem for a founder. Like it's an extremely challenging business, but it's going to build perhaps one of the most important businesses of our lifetime. It's just like, it's hard.
You're almost like a serial entrepreneur. I use that term loosely, but you've had several companies in a relatively short space of time. Archer Aviation might be one that people know you best for. When you filed that paperwork in Delaware, and by the end of that week had some sort of prototype, why? What was it in that moment that made you think, I'm going to do this as a business and as a company?
I just, probably like a lot of people here, I just grew up watching a lot of sci-fi, good or bad. I think just looking into the future, like this is, basically I realized that this was the right time, both on the electromechanical side and software and AI side, to put together all the ingredients to make this work. And you asked when we started here, like, where are we at with like commercialization and real world work? Like we have robots that work every day in the commercial workforce today, maybe even as of right now. And so like what we're trying to do now is trying to basically figure out how to scale this at like much higher levels.
This is a video of Figure 2, second generation. It's a video of it, but what is today Figure 2 capable of doing autonomously? And in terms of tasks and its ability to use its own body, so to speak, what can you command it to do?
Yeah, so we've designed Figure 2 to basically be able to do majority of things a normal human can. We kind of separate our go-to-market in kind of two areas. One is shipping robots in the commercial workforce. Funny enough, that'll build like the biggest business in the world. Like half of GDP sits there. We're seeing like basically a decline in like global labor population. The second is the consumer household. So how do we do everyday things in the house, like do laundry, like put away dishes, clean up the kids' toys. So basically, we've designed the hardware to be able to do what like an average human can. And we rank this on like range of motion, torques and powers, like basically payloads and speeds. Can we basically like do what a human can physically?
How much of that task load, though, requires what one might call teleoperation, remote control or pre-programming?
We don't want to be doing any remote control or teleoperation into market. And we don't today.
There's no remote control or teleoperation of your Figure 2 robot today?
We use teleoperation for data collection efforts and other types of testing, but we do none of this in real autonomous activities. You do not want to be teleoperating robots like in the real world, like as a service. You really want to deploy robots at scale without any human in the loop and any human interventions to be able to do work. That's the goal. And if you don't set that goal from day one, you'll find yourself on like a local maximum really quick.
I've wanted to have this conversation with Brett, with you, for quite a long time. And how I tried to convince Brett to do it was say, I was away for 6 months on leave, and every day Brett would post more than I've ever seen anyone post on LinkedIn and X, and sometimes Threads, an update, what you would see as an update, operationally, technologically speaking. But despite that volume of like social media engagement, there's not a lot of you like out there in the wild talking about Figure. And I started this conversation by saying you've made some like the boldest claims, set some of the boldest targets. I think it's fair to say there's a great degree of skepticism about Figure and about you, and you recognize that skepticism.
I kind of I just don't like going to events. So I've done like 1 or 2 this year. I really feel I need to be at the office, just building the team, building the product, trying to get it out into the world. And everything else is basically distraction.
It's Muskian in the sense that you sometimes will post a photo late at night, you in the factory floor working, that kind of thing.
We want to find people like ourselves that want to basically try to work hard to get this technology to really work. And so we do a lot of posts to kind of give clarity and transparency in like what we're doing, and we want to try to attract the same type of people that kind of we are. We want to go out and like kind of pull this future forward, work extremely hard. Like we're seeing here, like we want to be able to ship robots into commercial settings and do autonomous work every day.
Some of this is analogous, of course, with what Elon Musk and Tesla want to do with Optimus. And it makes you think of scale. So you have something you call BotQ, but essentially the manufacturing process and the facility. That facility, as far as I understand it, has installed capacity to build 12,000 robots per annum. Is that accurate?
Per line, yes.
Per line. And so you have claimed that there is a path for you to ship 100,000 of these robots in 4 years. At the current rate, you'd have to ramp pretty dramatically to do that.
Yeah, we have the pilot line built now, building Figure 3s. I walk it every day. We have a stand-up every morning, and it's unbelievable. We've built basically ground up manufacturing processes. We built our own manufacturing execution system, MES systems. We have like automation across all the lines. We have processes for it. Some of the best automation that you basically can put in. And I'm watching robots come off the line.
And you stand by that target of 100,000 units shipped in a 4-year time period?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
What makes it possible?
Like one thing I've realized over the last few years is we're not doing car manufacturing. We're doing consumer electronics manufacturing. So the humanoid's relatively complex. And I was the jury's out for me 3 years ago what this looks like. But this is just not car manufacturing. This is traditional consumer electronics manufacturing. And that process is probably several orders of magnitude easier. I don't want to give the impression that manufacturing is going to be easy in any way. I just think that we really have spent the last year trying to understand it much better. And I feel higher confidence that we can actually deliver significant volumes over time.
The stated known customer that you have is BMW, a car company. You have said that you have robots deployed at BMW. What kind of tasks are they doing there, and in what volume are they deployed with that company?
Yeah, so we currently are doing basically a job in the body shop where we basically move sheet metal back and forth. The goal is to be able to put it on fixtures, then those get welded into a car chassis. So we're doing that role every day. Today, I don't know what time it is on the East Coast if we're still doing it, but and then we're going to spend a lot more time, well, we already are, but we're going to spend a lot more effort just basically expanding to more use cases throughout the rest of the year.
There has also been skepticism about the scale of that partnership and relationship. You've spoken about that publicly a little bit. Is it of commercial value to you? Is it just a pilot? Or is this you saying, we're doing this for reals, out in the real world with a real corporate business?
The thing that we get a lot of value of, and that's really important, is that we need to, as a company, figure out how to run robots every day, really well. And we do that in our lab, it's one thing, but we need to go to a client site, we need access to a network, it needs to be safe. And in some cases, we might need to integrate with an MES or PLC. And then they need to run all day, and then we need to make sure there's as little or no human interventions per day, or we're just never going to be able to scale. So the beauty of the relationship we have now is we get to run robots every day. We get to see how well they perform. We get to track all the metrics. I have a readout every day at the end of the day, along with the team that's in Spartanburg, and we get to figure out how to make the process better. Much of all of this is, at this point, software. I don't think we've had a hardware failure in the last 30 days at all. I can't even remember. So like we basically are software limited everywhere across the whole company.
Today at Bloomberg Tech Summit San Francisco 2025, Agility brought a robot. The audience, you can murmur, nod, raise your hands. I think you guys saw the robot, correct? And I think Boston Dynamics has a robot here too. Brett, you didn't bring a robot.
That kind of goes back to our whole philosophy around we don't go to a lot of events. I think it's a giant waste of time. To be frank, I have to bring a team here, I have to bring robots here. They could be at the office, they could be learning autonomy. I mean, we put out a video today of a robot doing a logistics use case. It's fully end-to-end, it's a single neural network, it's taking camera frames in, it's outputting actions. It's now doing that, basically approaching human speeds and accuracies. Can you find me anybody in the world doing this?
In this video, which I have seen for transparency with the audience, but it was published today, I don't think we have it or we weren't able to move quick enough on it, but the robot is sorting between cardboard boxed packages and then plastic wrapped packages. It's trying to smooth out the plastic so the barcode shows. This is within one of your facilities, right? But you have another customer that you're not naming. Bloomberg has reported that that customer is UPS.
Yeah, we have, so we have a second customer we signed in the logistics space, and we are currently working to start like initial deployment there. So the trick here with this is that with packages, it's really tough. In the case of like logistics work we're doing with small packages, every single package and every single instance of packages coming together is different for the robot every single time. And you cannot solve this with code.
You can't solve this with code.
You can't code your way out of this problem. It's impossible. Like you can code your way out of a problem of getting on stage and moving bins or boxes and like some, you know, like
it's interesting, right? Because in one video on the stamping press, you know, that's a piece of dense metal.
Totally.
And then the packages, it was interesting to see that not necessarily the dexterity, but the softness of touch.
They're like so different, like they're almost they're orthogonal. They're like, one is like, you know, needs like very high precision and very fast speeds and like no failures, because we can't like shut down the line. The other needs basically like some level of generalization from the neural net to figure out how to manipulate packages of varying sizes at human speeds, 3 to 4 seconds per package. And we have to be able to find the barcode, orientate it downwards, and in a lot of cases flatten the package like a human would so that the scanner down the line on the conveyor can read it.
This is a slightly obscure example, but could figure 2 and figure 3, which you alluded to, pick up, say, a strawberry without crushing it? You know, does it have that level of control?
Oh, yeah. We can go one better. We can probably pick up a strawberry and manipulate and do things without ever having seen strawberries before in training sets.
We reported as well earlier this year that, you know, lots of companies are, but Meta is also looking at robotics. And I believe that Meta at least discussed with you how you might work together, or at least ask you about your competencies, not just in hardware, but software. How does that work for you guys? Do you feel like you want to just be a seller of the physical unit to a Meta? Or do you want to sell components and software, license it? Or do you want to run a service, say, hey, here's my humanoid robot workforce, which you can take from me as a fleet and we'll manage it?
Yeah, this is like really where it comes down to, like, if you had to like look at every single robotics company today in the world, one of the first questions I would ask is like, what is your prime directive? What's your purpose? And at the top of that, like axiomatically, my question would be, are you here to sell work? Like, we're selling work. We want robots to go out and do your dishes, laundry, manufacturing, construction, all that. We want to sell. It doesn't matter what our hands, head, cameras look like. We need output per hour.
Have you talked to Amazon about the warehouse case study?
No comment. But the question to be like, the question would be like, you know, we're here to basically sell that. And so like all the design decisions that we make basically downstream are to figure out how to do that really well. So no, to answer your question, we're not trying to sell hardware. We're not just trying to sell AI models. We're trying to deliver a full stack solution, vertically integrated, that can go in and autonomously do work with just speech. You just want to talk to the robot and you want it to be able to output actions very intelligently and to do work end to end. Like that's the goal. And we're not going to do that by like, here's hardware, go deal with this, or here's the AI model. Like we have to we basically have found that there's no other way out but through. We basically have to design all the hardware ourselves, all the electronics, all the software, all the AI models. Training, we do manufacturing, we integrate it, we bring it into service, and we make sure it works.
AI models, you looked at OpenAI and I think you looked at building on top of an AI model, but you made the determination that you're better off doing software yourself. Why?
Many reasons. One is we were just better at doing it alone. Second, it also didn't help us. I haven't talked about this a lot publicly, but it didn't help us publicly by partnering with a group where everybody came in from building the AI team that thought that somebody else like OpenAI did our AI work, right. Which wasn't really true. So we basically did a large fraction of all that work. So and today we do all of the AI work ourselves. We found out that we need to do it. We do it. We do AI work on humanoid robots better than anybody on the planet today.
Does do it mean train like a proprietary model, a robot brain, or are you just kind of reformatting open source models?
We do use an open source VLM backbone and Helix, so like a vision language model. Yeah, and we've been pretty public about that. And that really grounds the robot in semantic intelligence. You really understand, in the case of the strawberry, is that a strawberry? What do I do with it? That sort of stuff. And then beyond that, we do all the data collection, all the model development and training and basically inference time, test time ourselves.
What's more helpful to you right now? This is a question posed to you through me from an engineer. To have 10,000 robots in the field generating data, or do you still need 10,000 GPUs to...
We don't have a GPU problem. We have a data problem and a robot problem.
So the former would be better for you?
We need, the equation here, which is going to be really interesting, is we're seeing some of this now locally, is as you put more robots out to the world that can do something useful people will pay you for, the cost of that robot per output of work will come down because you'll just make more of them. You'll be up on the experience curve of manufacturing. And the second thing you'll do is the robots will learn to get better every day in the market. And they will share that with the collective fleet. Not like kids, where the kids have to learn how to walk. My kids have to learn how to walk. But our robots can share a neural network and do the same use case we talked about today, or you've seen here, with any other robot that came off the manufacturing line today. And so you basically, this is one of the first industries, I think, maybe in the world for advanced hardware, that it could be a winner or winners, maybe even winner take all market, where one group has the cheapest robot and it's the smartest. It's learning as you go. As it's making mistakes, as it's doing things successful, it learns like a human. And you're never gonna wanna have the dumb employee, or you're not gonna want the person at your house that's not the smartest. It's dangerous. You're gonna want the smartest employee and you want the smartest person in your house. And that will also be the cheapest. It's not like a computer or a car or a phone. It's a living agent that's getting better and cheaper over time.
Right.
And the group or groups that can get a large amount of robots out that are useful to market will have a significant advantage and lead over everybody else.
We're pushing hard against time, but I'm going to hold you on this. Do you not have a GPU problem because you have cash? There are reports that you are looking at raising some money at a valuation of $40 billion there or thereabouts. And the reason that's significant is it would represent a jump from your last known valuation of $2.6 billion about a calendar year or more ago. You also have the experience of going through taking a company public. And so I'd attach to that question how much pressure you're under right now from your existing investors, but also your capital needs to look at an accelerated timeline to IPO, which seems severe, but maybe.
Yeah, I still have a lot of PTSD from being a public market CEO, so I need a little more, maybe a couple more years. I mean, listen, we probably have on balance sheet today more cash than the collective humanoid groups have raised throughout history. And I think so we've been very capitalized. We have enough money for enough training inference GPUs. We have enough money to make thousands or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of robots. And we have enough money to recruit the best teams, the best people in the world and keep them incentivized. So a lot of the focus now is how do we keep this team really small, extremely fast, and ship product that works every single day. And it's an incredibly difficult world to get a humanoid robot out there to do those things. And that's why we're excited about it. That's why we're in the office so much. And that's why we were like excited to show that today. Is because you can see real robots that are running autonomously that are doing things like humans can. And they're approaching, every day we're approaching more and more human-like. And they don't need any hardware changes to do your laundry. It's just software. It's just data. So we're seeing that now, and like that's what gets everybody in the team excited about this like next chapter for us, which is we're in a chapter where the hardware works. It's getting really reliable. We're in a chapter where the AI you can put on this hardware, and it can do human-like stuff, and it can learn from humans, and it can get better over time. And cost has come down significantly. I mean, our Figure 3 robot is literally 90% cheaper.
Than Figure 2?
Like 93%.
Just a simple yes or no answer. We're done for time. I'm going to get shouted at by the big bosses. The chaos of Elon Musk that we've seen today, is there any room for you to even compete with Optimus and keep pace with what they say that they will do?
We don't spend too much time looking at competitors, but I think, I think it's probably pretty obvious to the world. I think Figure is perhaps shown the best world progress in both AI and humanoid robotics globally. And we're fueled to kind of hopefully continue that lead into market here.